Good evening. This is Shankar from Global Intelligence Network. What we are witnessing right now is not just an escalation. It is a transition into a far more complex and far more dangerous phase of conflict. A phase where military pressure and economic disruption merge. And that changes the nature of this conflict entirely. In the last 24 hours, Iran has expanded its operational response, not only against military targets, but also toward economic infrastructure, energy routes, shipping systems, and pressure points. This signals something important. This is no longer just battlefield confrontation. This is strategic pressure applied at the system level. This is not simply war. This is economic pressure at scale. But the real question now is this: will this conflict escalate into a ground invasion? And this is where I want to offer a clear, calm, and honest assessment. Speaking respectfully and as someone who values freedom of expression, I do not believe that Donald Trump has the appetite for a full-scale ground invasion into Iran, because a war of that magnitude would be extremely expensive, extremely bloody, and strategically unpredictable. History has shown that large ground invasions in this region rarely unfold the way planners expect. What is far more likely is a calibrated escalation, an increase in pressure without crossing the threshold of full-scale invasion. Deployments may increase, military presence may grow, and symbolic shows of force may continue. For example, the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit. And then, after pressure builds, we may see a narrative shift, claims of back-channel talks, statements of strategic success, and eventually a controlled political exit. This is my assessment. I may be wrong, but I hope I am right. Now let us understand the scale. The 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, around 3,500 Marines, supported by USS San Diego and USS New Orleans, equipped with F-35B stealth fighters, Osprey aircraft, and heavy amphibious assault capability. This is not symbolic deployment. This is serious capability. But with capability comes consequence. Because the moment a force like this is committed, the situation becomes harder to control. This is not a limited strike force. This is an entry force, and entry forces can quickly become long-term commitments. Follow-up deployments would likely be required. For example, units like the 82nd Airborne Division, which means prolonged ground engagement. But here is the strategic mismatch. Iran is not preparing to fight a conventional war. Iran is preparing to fight an asymmetric war. And history has repeatedly shown that conventional military power often struggles in asymmetric conflicts. Vietnam, Afghanistan both demonstrated this, like striking again on an already wounded place. This is what repeated escalation can begin to resemble. Let us be very clear. Capturing a location like Kharg Island is one challenge. Holding it is another. Because geography in this region is not neutral. It favors Iran. A small number of ballistic missiles combined with coordinated drone strikes could transform that operation into a prolonged conflict. When you pour oil into fire, you do not reduce it. You expand it. Is the American public prepared for another long war, another costly war? Because public patience is a strategic factor in every modern conflict. Right now, narratives are being shaped. Some claim complete victory, others predict total collapse. But reality is rarely that simple. Real conflicts are complex. The situation is not only about military strength, it is about endurance, strategy, diplomacy, and most importantly, exit planning. The wounds of fire may heal, but the wounds caused by words can last far longer. Because in modern conflict, even words shape the battlefield. This is Shankar from the Global Intelligence Network. Stay informed, stay aware, and above all, stay balanced. Good night.